What is the spiritual dream meaning of fire? So, what if that fire you keep dreaming about? What if it isn't trying to destroy you, but trying to crown you? Yeah. To really get this, we have to talk about a girl who was consumed by flame, and by being consumed, became eternal. Okay, get this. Joan of Arc was just 13. 13 when God first spoke to her through light and fire. By the time she was 17, she was commanding an entire army, completely turning the tide of a war France had been losing for decades. And then, by 19, she was chained to a stake, with flames literally climbing her feet. They really thought that fire would erase her, just wipe her from history. But instead, it made her a saint. See, the fire didn't silence her, it transformed her. You gotta understand, for Joan, fire wasn't just some metaphor. No, it was her actual spiritual language. The voices she heard, they came wrapped in blazing light. Her mission, her calling, it felt like a fire burning inside her chest. And she absolutely knew she couldn't ignore it. That would be a different kind of death. And that is the secret your dream is trying to hand you. So let's turn this inward now. I'm gonna ask you some questions. Really ask you about the fire in your own mind. And I need you to answer honestly. Don't you dare look away. All right, first question. When that fire shows up in your dream, what's your first move? Your gut instinct. Are you running from it, or are you standing right there in the middle of it?
Okay, second. Let's talk about the feeling of this fire. What's its emotional texture? Does it feel like punishment, for something you did wrong? Or does it feel like permission? Permission for something you're just about to do.
Okay, now let's bring it out of the dream and into your waking life. Right now, what is currently on fire for you? Is it your rage, your grief? Maybe it's a deep longing you won't even admit to yourself, let alone anyone else. What about that unspoken calling? And finally, look, this is the most important question of all. Be honest. Is there something you are terrified to want this badly? So badly that the wanting itself feels like it could just burn you alive? Your answers to those questions, every single one of them, they all point to one of the most powerful symbols we have. Period. I don't care what you look at, every religion, every psychological framework. Fire always signals the same non-negotiable truth. It's not whispering, change is coming. It's screaming, change is here, right now, and you are standing in the middle of it. So really, we've got two ways of looking at this whole thing. On one hand, you've got the common fear-based idea, fire means destruction, punishment, loss, just an ending. But on the other hand, we have the deeper spiritual truth, fire as transformation, as permission, as the raw, untamable life force of becoming. And look, this isn't just some mystical woo-woo stuff. We're talking hard psychology here. Carl Jung, he called fire the ultimate symbol of transformation, that blazing will to become who you were always meant to be. And even from a modern CBT perspective, recurring symbols like fire, that's just your brain's way of literally forcing you to finally deal with the emotional baggage you keep shoving aside when you're awake. So let's be crystal clear about what this means for you. Right here, right now. This is not some random dream symbol your brain coughed up. This is a personal message, an urgent delivery. Listen to me. Fire in dreams is almost never about actual destruction. It's about the version of yourself you have been putting off, the person you know deep down you could be if you just had the guts. Think of it like this. It's divine timing, and it's been knocking on your front door. But you haven't been answering. So now, it's going around to the back door, the door of your unconscious, and it's not knocking anymore, it's banging. And this is the fundamental difference between Joan's story and your story. Joan of Arc, she didn't get to choose her fire, but you do. You're awake, you're here, you still have time to choose. Which brings us to the final and most urgent point. That fire in your dream, it's not a threat, it is a gift, a profound one. And what you do with it, well, that's everything, isn't it? You need to see this dream for what it really is. It's a mercy. It's three things all wrapped into one powerful symbol. Number one, it's a warning. Time is running out. Number two, it's a map. It's pointing you directly toward what you truly, deeply want. And number three, it's an invitation. A call to finally step up and become the person you were always meant to be. So the dream is your calling. The fire is a mercy. And the only truly dangerous move you can make right now, the only real mistake, is to just go back to sleep.
Fire dreams. We need to talk about what they're really trying to tell you.
Part 2. And let's get one thing straight right now. The details of your fire dream, they are a direct message and you need to listen. So forget the generic dream dictionaries. We're diving into the most common fire dreams and what they are urgently trying to tell you. First up, the fire that's closest to home, the fire on you. Okay, these dreams are hitting right at your core. We're talking about your identity, your stability, your very sense of self. And the first one, it's probably the most spiritually charged fire dream you can have.
You're engulfed in flames, right? But here's the thing. You're not burning. You feel no pain. This is your psyche, your soul, whatever you want to call it, screaming that you are divinely protected. You're being called to something huge, something you've probably told yourself is way too much for you.
So here's the question you have to answer. What is that calling you've been writing off as impossible? This dream is a flashing neon sign telling you you were built for this. Now, what if the fire isn't on you, but on something just as personal, like, say, your house? In the language of dreams, your house is always you. It's your identity. So a house fire? It isn't a death sentence, it's a demolition notice. Some piece of your life, a job, a belief, a relationship, is collapsing because it's time. It has to go. And your only job here is to get out of the way. Seriously, stop trying to save it. Let it burn. Because whatever you build in its place is going to be the real thing. It'll be strong enough to hold you. Now, let's pull back from the intensely personal and look at when the fire is out there, in the world. These are the dreams that tap into that feeling we all get sometimes, that collective anxiety, that sense of being completely powerless in the face of absolute chaos. So you're dreaming of wildfires, meteors, some kind of apocalyptic firestorm lighting up the entire sky. Let's be clear, you are not a prophet. You are overwhelmed. That's it. It's just your anxiety scrambling for a symbol big enough to contain how you feel. The only move here is to ground yourself. Find one small, tangible thing in your actual life that you can control, and then do it. Reclaim your power, even if it's small. All right, let's get into a dream with a much sharper, much harder edge. Yeah, watching someone else burn? This is a heavy one. If you feel helpless and horrified in the dream, it's likely pointing to guilt or grief. But what if you feel nothing? If you're just a detached observer, that is a massive warning sign. That numbness, that's a siren going off. Your nervous system is telling you that you've disconnected to survive. Your job is to figure out who this person in the dream represents. And then you either reach out to them in real life or you get professional help to unpack it immediately. Okay, another tough one. Watching something you love, your home, a precious object, even a child, go up in flames. This is not a literal warning. Let me say that again. It's not a literal warning. It's about grief. It is your heart literally begging for permission to mourn a major life change. So give yourself that. Create a ritual, light a candle, write a letter, and burn it, whatever it takes. This isn't weakness, it is essential emotional hygiene. It is how you move through loss without it poisoning you. Okay, let's shift gears. Let's talk about dreams where you actually have a hand in the fire. This next set is all about your own personal power. It's about how you engage with the fire. Do you control it? Do you fight it? Or do you walk towards it? Now this one's rare, a controlled, tended fire. Think a fireplace, a campfire, a candle frame. This is sacred fire, and it is a direct call, a summons, to bring intentional ritual back into your life. The instruction here could not be more clear or more immediate. Not when you have more time, not someday. You need to identify one practice, one ritual you've let slide, and you bring it back this week. Now check out this contrast because it's fascinating. If you dream that you successfully put out a fire, the message is you already have everything you need to handle the real-life crisis. So stop strategizing and just act. But if you dream you can't put the fire out no matter what you do, the message flips. The problem isn't the fire. The problem is your desperate, compulsive need to control it. The only move is to let go of what you can't control. And this one, well, this is maybe the bravest dream of them all. To feel the heat, to be terrified of the flames, and yet you walk towards it anyway. Your unconscious mind is literally running a simulation. It's a dress rehearsal for courage, showing you exactly what it feels like to be scared to death and still move forward. And please, don't make the mistake of thinking this is practice for some far-off future challenge. No, this dream is about now. It's for the thing staring you in the face right now. So name it. What is the single most frightening next step you need to take? Your dream is telling you to take it. So finally, what about when fire meets its opposite? When you dream of fire and water, your subconscious is telling you to stop seeing your life as a conflict. This is not about choosing passion or intuition, action or surrender, masculine or feminine. The dream is a demand. Integrate these things. Stop fighting yourself.
Because when you strip it all away, when you get right down to it, every single one of these dreams, from the holy fire to the house fire to the wildfire, they are all asking you the exact same fundamental question. And let's be very, very clear on the language here. The question is not, are you willing to be improved? It's not about being adjusted or tweaked. It's asking if you are willing to be fundamentally, completely, and irrevocably transformed by the heat. Because in the end, none of this analysis is the point. The real interpretation of the dream isn't in a book, and it's not here. It's in what you do when you wake up. The answer you give with your actual choices, that is the only interpretation that will ever matter.
Part 3. Let's get straight to it. Understanding your fire dream? It means absolutely nothing if you don't do something with it. So no, this is not another interpretation guide. This is about action, period.
Because knowing isn't enough. It's not the point. It's just the starting line. So what we're doing here, right now, is building a practical roadmap, a set of actual protocols you can use to translate that dream into real, tangible change in your life.
Okay, so listen up. Each of these applications we're about to cover is designed for a different kind of woman, a different way of processing the world. So your job, find yourself in this list. See which one hits you, which one speaks your language. And that's where you start. Not tomorrow, today.
All right, first step, internal processing protocols. This is for the woman who processes things inside her own head, inside her own body. If your first instinct is to go inward, this is for you.
Application 1. The Dream Journal Protocol. And you have to understand this. The window for this is tiny. It closes in 90 seconds. I'm not kidding. Within 90 seconds of waking up, the real, raw data from the dream just starts to evaporate. This isn't some mystical idea. This is neuroscience. You have to capture it, and you have to do it fast.
So the second you wake up from that fire dream, before you even roll over, you grab a pen and you write down these 3 things. They are non-negotiable. 1. What the fire looked like and what it did. Be specific. 2. What you felt in your body. Not what you thought, what you physically felt. Big difference. And 3. The very first waking life situation that came to your mind. Don't analyze it, don't force it, just write it down.
Okay, moving on. Application 2 is the body dialogue. And this is so crucial because your fire dream isn't just a movie playing in your head. No way. It lives in your nervous system. Talking about it, thinking about it, that only gets you halfway there.
And look, this isn't just some woo-woo physical exercise. It's grounded in something called somatic CBT. It's a real therapeutic approach that recognizes something powerful. Your body holds on to trauma and emotions that your brain hasn't even begun to process yet. The body keeps the score, right?
So here's the protocol. You're going to stand barefoot, outside if you can, close your eyes, and breathe into the exact place in your body where that dream lives. You know where it is, your chest, your gut, your throat. Then you ask it out loud, what are you protecting me from? And then you move, you stretch, you shake, you walk, whatever your body tells you to do. And here's the most important part. Do not interrupt with logic. Shut your brain off and let your body talk.
Okay, next section, externalizing your psyche. So what if you're not an internal processor? What if you're the kind of woman who needs to get things out, to make them real, make them tangible? Well, this is your territory.
Application number 3 is the fire letter. And I love this one because it requires a huge shift in how you think. You are not writing about the fire, you are writing a letter to the fire. You have to treat it as an intelligent entity because psychologically speaking, that's exactly what it is.
And again, this isn't just a creative writing exercise. This comes straight from Jungian psychology. It's a method called active imagination, and it is a clinically proven technique for talking with different parts of your own psyche to get at information that your conscious mind has locked away. This has a 100-year track record, people. It works.
So you ask the fire what it wants, and then you just write its response. And the stuff that comes through can be absolutely electrifying. It's this raw, direct truth. You might get a message like this. You ask what I want the fuel you've been giving to your fear. See? That's not creative writing. That is your psyche handing you an urgent, non-negotiable memo.
All right, next up, application 4, the elemental altar. This one is for the woman who finds power and meaning in ritual. The point here is that the dream isn't just happening in your head. It's a call to action, to build an actual physical relationship with the element of fire in your waking life, to stop seeing it as a danger and start seeing it as a teacher. The protocol itself is simple, but don't let that fool you. It is powerful. You create a small altar. A candle is the centerpiece. Then you add a symbol of what you're releasing, what you're letting go of. It could be a word on a piece of paper, a small object, anything. Next, you add a symbol of what you're calling in. And then every single day, you light that candle and you sit in silence for just 5 minutes. That's it. But the consistency, that's everything.
Okay, so we've gone inward, we've brought it outward. Now we move into the world. Our final set of applications is called action in the world. This is for the woman whose transformation, whose fire is tangled up with other people.
Application 5 is the honest conversation. And let's not beat around the bush here. Sometimes that fire dream is pointing a big, flaming arrow at one specific relationship in your life, and you know exactly which one I'm talking about. The dream was the rehearsal. Now it's time for the real thing. You're being called to have the one conversation you have been desperately avoiding.
But listen, this is not about picking a fight. It's about having a structured, courageous conversation. Here's the exact framework, word for word. You start with, I have been afraid to tell you. Then you say, what I actually need from you is, and you end with, what I am willing to do differently is. And yes, it is going to feel like you are walking directly toward a fire. That's kind of the whole point.
And that brings us to our final application, the professional mirror. Look, if your fire dreams are happening over and over, if they are deeply disturbing, they are no longer just a metaphor. They are a clinical signal. This is not a sign of failure. It is a directive from your psyche.
So when do you make that call? Here are the signs. The dreams are happening multiple times a week. They are consistently disturbing you. They leave you feeling shaken and rattled all day long. If you're nodding your head to any of this, it is time to find a therapist. Your psyche is sending up an SOS flare. Do not try to manage this alone.
So after all these protocols, all this work, all this analysis, it really all boils down to one single thing, the ultimate question.
I want you to think about Joan of Arc for a second. Yeah, she died at 19, burned at the stake, but her whole life, short as it was, she was already burning. She was burning with purpose, with faith, with this terrifying kind of courage. Why? Because she believed the voices she heard inside her were real.
And that fire in your dream, it's asking you the very same question her voice has asked her. Will you act on what you already know?
Because in the end, the fire is not your enemy. The waiting is.